How are you doing, Wayne? You glad to be back?
Well, ask me in another month or two and I'll tell you. Yeah, I enjoyed being on the board. I think the first term I was on and the first half of the second term, it got kind of boring at times, but we had some action there up at the top of your street there by the original owner.
Yeah,
And it was very interesting with him.
yeah, he was a character, all right. Hello, Elaine.
Oh,
I didn't know, was this, I thought this was a selectman meeting. I didn't know it was our meeting. But then I only got your quick text, so.
Yeah, so it's just our meeting
Oh, okay.
so that we can chat about the scheduling the April 20th that we had talked about for the flood plan bylaw, adding on the other bylaws as well.
All right.
Yeah. So we're
Melissa,
just- yeah.
who gave you the attachment you sent us this afternoon?
Town council.
So to me, that looks like the whole bylaw.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. It seems like.
No, they don't have it all on there, but they have most of it. I've been looking through
It's a
it.
good chunk of it.
I had a couple of things I wanted to mention about both of those, but whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. That's great.
All right, well, on the one for the floodplain, I think they're pretty much throwing out the whole thing and writing the whole thing over. And I think they added a couple of new sections and I think they did a great job on it. I had a couple of days to read it. The section, let's see, I got it here. Well, anyway, you know, we have to have the public hearing for it anyway, but on section C, all these Roman numerals here, section C, section 5 to section 7 is all new. And then section G is all new. And I think it's great that wasn't part of the floodplain bylaw before. And as you know, I've been on the zoning board for 100 years, but I don't ever remember once in all the years I've been on the board of anybody ever coming for a variance or a special permit for the floodplain. But yet by law, they have to have that bylaw. But I thought they did a good job on it. And on the new one that I got from Melissa tonight, I don't like the way they've got it set up. In the zoning book you have now, everything is listed for variances to the left in paragraphs. And then you've got what district it's in. The way they've got it now, they've got each thing written out separately. And I think it's just too confusing that way. But that's just my opinion. We can talk about that on the 20th, I guess, when we have the public hearing. But,
So Wayne, did you notice that anything on the second book, the second attachment we just got had really drastically changed? I went through it as best I could in the last hour.
well, that's
But-
all I had was about an hour for it.
Yeah.
So I just thumbed through them and I picked up right on all of those, you know, the different districts they're in and whether it's permitted, a special permit or a variance. Each item has it listed separately, and I think it's too confusing. It's a lot easier to look at it the way it is in the old book under the principal uses. You know, you'll notice it when you
Yeah.
read through it.
What I'm trying to get at too is, who took the time to do this? Who's changing it?
Well, my understanding is the town for a lot of years, they've had a zoning bylaw study committee. And quite a few years ago, I got on it and I stayed a year and a half and they had one meeting, so I got off it. I think, but I'm not sure, George Porter at one time was the chairman. And I don't know if Richie Rosen is the chairman or vice chairman now or not. But they would be the people to rewrite the zoning or add zoning, you know, bylaws or anything like that. And then the planning board is the one that has to hold the public hearing on it. And they make if you get any public, you get their opinion. And, we make decisions whether we agree with it or not, and send our recommendations to the Board of Selectmen, and they go through it minutely. Well, a couple of them probably will go through it pretty good. I don't want to badmouth the selectmen because they do a good job. And then it goes to town council, and he has to make sure every single bit of whatever's new is worded correctly, so the Attorney General will approve it. And if he approves it, then town meeting has to approve it, and then it becomes law. So but you have to do it ahead of time enough so you can get it on the annual town meeting, or it has to wait till the next annual town meeting. I don't think they can do those at the special town meetings.
It sounds like they can get it on this year's annual town meeting.
Yeah, but
Right,
like,
we do, I believe.
like you said, I just got it too, so really haven't had a chance to go through that much. But the one I got the other day, I think they did a good job. Look, I think from what I could get, it sounds to me like the state's mandating that every town throw out what you've got and adopt this new
Yeah.
bylaw. And they did a good job, and I liked it at the end. There was a couple of sections they added that was never part of the bylaw before. And I thought it was good, those two sections I just mentioned. But we can discuss it more when we've got 3 or 4 hours to waste.
The bylaw articles that Melissa just gave us. I guess my question is, it would be helpful if they indicated what really was different. I mean, they use that.
Well, the only way you're gonna figure that out is to go page by page, I think.
Yeah,
That's
be
the
like
feeling I get.
key of what they changed, because like you said, it's not written in a format that we're used to, but I'll look at it more carefully.
Well, the one thing I did notice right off on the front page is the table of use regulations. They've added the floodplain watershed district as a separate one. And they've also added the mixed use in the center of town as a new category too. But this is something we got to go through. And like I said, it doesn't look like they have anything about variances on it. They have something about special permit, and that's almost exactly the same. And then again, the state, some of these things you have to pretty much carry the same wording as what the state has.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to read through.
Yep.
So all we're really doing is just voting to bring it up to the public hearing, just so it can get put in there. We're not really voting on changes or anything. We just to make sure it's open to everybody for the meeting. Wow.
Right, yeah, just that you're holding the public hearing for the.
I'm trying to think of the dates, and I'm just getting all combobulated here.
The one thing I would suggest is the memorandum we got on the floodplain. I would suggest we do that one first that night, because that'll take the less amount of time.
Right.
Yeah.
There's very little changes to that. Very few people impacted on the flood.
Like I say, I don't ever remember anything coming before the zoning board in all the years I've been on it for that, except for the I can't remember what it is now. If they have I can't think of the words I want to say. When they have the bookstores that used to be illegal and stuff like that.
The adult bookstores.
Yeah, the adult bookstores, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only, if somebody came for a variance or something one time and we denied them. I think that's the only time. And that was shortly after that, because that's why that was put in, because they wanted to start moving them out of Stoughton and sending them over here.
Right. Now it's going to be marijuana shops.
Well, marijuana shops, I think people will change their mind. That's got a place.
Yeah.
That's just like cigarettes had a place.
Yeah. Brendan's smoke shop will cover all that.
And same way with liquor, prohibition, that had a place. You're not going to stop this stuff. You might as well regulate it to whatever degree you can and make some money out of it, like some of the other towns have.
Yeah. If they federally regulate marijuana, look how much money they'll make.
Yeah.
But that's a different story.
What's your opinion, Lonnie?
I don't have one right now at the moment. I'm just wondering, should we be opening the meeting officially?
This
It's
me?
already recording, so I just kind of bypassed that when Wayne wanted to start talking.
Well, don't hesitate to shut me up, because I have a tendency to butt in a lot of time.
It's all good. I
I
don't,
have down that we started at 4:59, so.
yeah.
okay.
I think we can bypass the Pledge of Allegiance for tonight. This is just one thing. So, does anyone have anything else to say, or would somebody like to make a motion to approve?
So it would be a motion to add the town's protective zoning bylaws to the public hearing for Tuesday, April 20th.
That sounds right to me. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I'd be happy to make that motion.
Okay, Alani makes the, any second?
I'll second it.
I second by Wayne. Does anybody else have anything to add? No?
This is adding both the flood and the town bylaw changes.
The FEMA was already added to it, right? The floodplain was already added to me. We're just adding this to that meeting.
Yep.
Okay,
All we have to do. It's just
Okay.
just add the bylaws to that meeting, just so they can get it out in time. So it would have been nice to have this earlier to read it over, but I guess that's the town's problem, right?
We've got a couple of weeks now to.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, we're not here to make changes anyway. We're just here to get it into the public hearing, so. All right, so we have a motion. All in favor? Alani,
In favor?
Elaine,
in favor.
Wayne?
In favor.
I am in favor also.
I have something else I'd like to ask of the board
right ahead, sir.
before Lonnie issues her motion. The planning board, I mean, the zoning board tonight, the first case we have is 611 Plymouth Street on the corner of Green Acres.
Yeah.
I went down there 3 times. I've taken a ride down there, like I do on most every case. And I noticed that your recommendation was to deny it, specifically recommend denial until such time as the applicant obtains the proposed land that is owned by the town. There's a part of the zoning act on page 41. Part of it says that, let me put my eyes on here. I looked it up because I wasn't sure of the wording, but I had seen this before. The board may impose conditions, safeguards, and limitations both of time and for use, including the continued existence of any particular structures, but excluding any condition, safeguards, or limitation based on the continued ownership. So I don't think you can say that that case can't be heard unless he owns that property.
Okay,
Because a variance, once it's approved, goes with the property forever. It doesn't go with the people that own it. When the people that getting that move, die, or whatever, no longer own the property, that is still there. Unless at some time by either that owner or some future owner, they actually come back before the Board of Appeals and ask for it to be removed.
right,
So now that's just my interpretation of that. I don't know if I'm right.
right. I know that our original motion, on that, that was the one they wanted to add addition to the back and the upstairs.
Yeah.
Onto that, and they were making the house so big and so limited on everything else that we denied because of overcrowding. But I believe Sheila was the one that said we might as well put that one first and just let them obtain the land before we make any decision.
Well, I'd say I'm not saying I'm right, but that's just the way I
Right.
get. And, looking at that property, that existed before zoning.
Oh, yeah?
That was built in 55. We didn't get zoning until 1960.
Oh, Jesus.
And, they want to go up and they want to go back. The site plan I've got, I can't read the dimensions for the side lot lines, how big they are.
Right,
They only need 15 feet.
right. They had all that, but I believe, wasn't it that you can't more than double the size of the house or something?
You can, you're thinking of an in-law apartment. They
Oh,
want,
okay.
they want to make this a 2-family. That's
Oh,
what it says on the
I
application.
don't remember the whole thing. I don't have my paper here.
Well, they want to add on the ground floor in the back, and then they
Right.
want to add a full second story to make it 2 families.
Right, right.
That's allowed in an A2 zone.
Okay,
So. and
What ab-
The only
what
thing,
the fact that it's on a corner?
well, because it's on the corner, they have 2 front setbacks. You don't have a backyard on a corner like that. You have 2 sides and a front. So whatever the front setback is for the A2, so they probably need a variance from that. I don't know. I can't tell from I can't read the site plan because it's so faded.
I'm trying to see if I still have it in my email. I could bring up the thing if you want me to.
But they also need a variance for the lot size, because the lot size is only 12,000 plus feet, and they need 22,000 for an A2.
Right,
So they would need a variance from that anyway.
That
right.
was, I think that's the point Adam was trying to make, that it was bigger than was allowed,
Yeah.
the lot size.
Well, there again, it's not like an in-law, which is supposed to be substantially enclosed within the existing building.
Right, it maintain the presence of a one family.
Right. And, there's no way that if they do it the way the site plan makes it look, it's not gonna look like a single family. And 2 families are allowed in the A2 zone.
Okay,
But anyway, I was just wondering what your reasoning was for recommending denial for that reason, that's all. I didn't know if there was something different.
yeah,
I
like,
think-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think it's overcrowded. The
That was
size,
the original motion, I believe, Elaine.
yeah, yeah.
And Sheila said, why don't we put that aside? And then until they obtain that property, and that's what we adjusted our first motion into that one.
How many bedrooms were they gonna have total, do you know, from the 2?
Give me 1 second, let me get my folder and I'll.
No, that's all right. I don't want to hold everybody up because that's not part of this hearing anyway.
I don't have the email, but I can have it ready for us for next week. At our next meeting, I'll bring it right up.
But
Well,
they
they're gonna talk-
they show 5 parking spaces in the back, so that may be sufficient. I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know the driveway was very narrow on the side. We didn't think there was gonna be enough room to get cars around the back of it
Yeah.
and stuff. We brought it up on Zoom, up on Google Maps and everything like that. We looked into it pretty good.
Well,
I don't remember all our discussion.
come on to Zoom at 7 o'clock because that's our first case tonight. And I'm sure it'll get picked apart pretty good because, it may be overcrowding.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that was just our recommendation that they obtain the land before. We didn't want them to be denied, unless they had the land, so they wouldn't have to wait to reapply and everything also.
Well, the thing is, if we deny them, then they can't come back from 2 years unless the planning board, they go before the planning board and all but one member of the board votes to let them come back within the 2 years. But they have to make substantial changes in order
Correct.
for the planning board to allow that.
Right. I think that's pretty much why we put aside that first motion and just left it with the land acquiring first.
Okay, that's all. I just had that question.
Good enough. I love questions. I just don't have all the answers. I'm learning though.
But you're the chairman. You're supposed to have all the answers.
We'll
Actually,
get into that right now.
Lonnie
We're
probably,
working on it.
Lonnie knows everything too.
Not a chance, not a chance.
You've been on. it. How
No,
many,
we'll get there. We'll be all right. We just,
how many terms did you serve, Lonnie?
I'm not sure, but it's been a few.
Well, you were, I don't think you were on it. Were you on it when I served my second term? Yeah, you must have been because I came on in 2015,
Yes, yes,
but you weren't there when I left in 04.
that's true.
And then Freddie left a year or 2 after that. He and Donnie got into it.
Lonnie, I think you've been on about 9 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So it's been at least 2. I wasn't sure if it was more, but at least 2.
Because
Right.
Adam and I will be here 3 years in October.
Yep. Yeah.
Am I getting my old seat back or am I getting the other seat back this time?
You can sit wherever you want.
I don't know who took my seat.
We can make a motion on seats when we get together.
He's
We won't
already
be-
told me he doesn't want to sit next to me.
Well, none of us will be,
Oh, no, I didn't tell you that. I asked Adam if I had to.
I don't think it was any assigned seating. I don't think it really matters.
No, she keeps me in check, so probably a good idea if I do sit next to her.
We might be all be in separate corners at the rate this is going.
Yeah, we probably will be, but that's okay.
Well,
At least we'll be in the same room. Makes it easy.
I'd rather have it that way than this way. you know.
Yeah.
That
this
way you
drives
get,
me nuts.
that way you get the full site plans and you can see everything.
Yeah. You don't forget to not hit mute. When you're yelling with your wife.
That's true, that's true.
That was wild though. We yelled at each other a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to see sunlight behind people's picture faces here tonight anyway. Usually it's pitch black. Oh. All right, anybody else got anything? We all good?
I think we're good.
All right,
So-
Alani,
And you would like a motion to adjourn? I'd be happy to do that.
go right ahead.
All right, so you've got it. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Alani. Any
And I'll
second? Second by
second.
Elaine. All in favor, Wayne?
Yes.
Elaine,
in favor.
Lonnie,
In favor.
I am in favor.
Have
Thank
a
you,
good
everybody.
night.
Have a great night.
Okay.